All right. All right, guys. Happy Sunday, sales warriors, my professionals. We're enjoying the weather here, the beautiful weather here. It's January 25th. Yeah, it's January 25th. Again, we're about 3 weeks in, a little bit over 3 weeks in January. And, this is where we should be crushing things and we should be, you know, hang out things, whatever you guys need to do to get the things going. I'm Sal Cosentino. I'm your chief executive officer. And I'm a cloud architect. I've got cloud security, network, AI, and enterprise architecture. Well, my bread and butter is cloud, so I can't type today. And I'm also a trainer. By trade, I teach, visit existing faculties in and around the metropolitan. And in this video, I want to talk about a few things. I want to give out a clear, realistic objection handling role play for the objection, right? And in this one, we're gonna go with the. I'm just gonna copy and paste it because I wrote this down already for you guys that way, and we're gonna see. This is when the prospect says the following. You'll see rookie versus sales professional sales responses and why each works or fails, right? So, one thing I don't want you to say is, a bunch of stuff we don't want you to say. That way uh, you're not screwing it up, right? You really want to, don't want to say thanks for the update. That's for one, right? And I'm going to write this down. Rookies, you don't want to say this is a no, no, don't do. Thanks for the update. Oh, we decided to go. Oh, thanks for the update. Not even ask them or find out what's going on and whatnot. You don't want to chase or beg, and I've seen you guys do this a lot. Do not chase or beg. Don't ghost or even disappear. Right? Don't ghost or even disappear. Don't ghost a prospect or even disappear from the prospect. And I see a lot of people do that. They get scared, ghost them. Right? Call them back. What kind of, it's all about sales. You need to get that sale. Right? Don't give up. What you ask questions for. And that's one. And second is, and this is because, like, honestly, you say thanks for the update. You don't want to chase or beg. You don't want to ghost the prospect or even disappear from the prospect. Most reps either get emotional or disappear in this aspect, which kind of kills the future business and the money aspect of that too, right? So you don't want to you future business or money deal, right? That's just because you get emotional, right? This is all has to do with emotional, getting emotional, and you don't see it or just disappear, like I said, right? That happens. We decided to go with another company. Another one I would say is, and I'm going to copy this, and this is word for word. I want you guys to kind of read this because we've been doing this a lot lately, and we've been dissecting this a lot with our sales rookies, and you'll see the prospects say, or the sorry, the rookie, um, after sorry, the rookie. This is a rookie response. My apology. Rookie says rookie. This is rookie. This is rookie number two. As an example, example two. Right. And then this is rookie example one, right? And the rookie will say, the sales rookie will say, "Oh, okay." And again, with the and the ahs, can I ask why? We actually have a lot of great features and our price is really competitive, right? What goes wrong here is, you immediately defend, right? You're defending, you're losing authority. Your prospect now feels guilt or pressured. Sounds surprised and emotional, right? Remember we talked about emotional, sounding surprised. Right? And again, if we start breaking this down, if I were to break this down, you look at the okay, and the okay is the surprise. You're disappointed about something. And I'm like, hold on a second, you're surprised. You're indicating emotional reaction to the objection rather than keeping your composure. Right? Prospects can send, and we talked about this yesterday about the neediness. We talked about they can sense rookie neediness, right? When you start talking about this, number two, right? Case number two, right? Oh, can I ask why? Us the filler word. Remember that. It signifies uncertainty. We talked about this yesterday or the other day. The question itself is fine in intent. It's seeking feedback, but combined with a little bit of hesitation, it comes across as defensive. Well, I'm going to go to the better approaches, but I'm just going to break this down as an example. Okay, can I ask why? We actually have a lot of great features and our price is really competitive, right? So I want to break this down for you guys because into sections, because I want you guys to understand what this is an actual objection, right? And this is what the sales rookies would say, and we have to kind of build upon what the sales rookies are saying because it makes it important. And we actually have a lot of great features, and our price is really competitive. And let's break this down. And what I'm gonna do is break this into one section, so that way we're not breaking it into two. And I'm gonna combine the two together, so this will be three, and this will also be three. And right there, we actually have a lot of great features, and our price is really competitive. You start seeing the defense of the value and price. You're showing reactive behavior, guy, rookie, right? And you're trying to convince that prospect instead of understanding their choice. Prospect can feel pressured, or that rookie is just trying to win the argument. Again, there's a better approach, but the rookie response fails because it gets emotional. And these big words, and I'm gonna circle a lot of these words here because these are some good words to kind of understand what I'm talking about, right? You get defensive, you're focused on selling and not really learning, right? Where the sales professional would do the opposite. Now to break that down a little bit further, the better approach for a professional would be to say, "Hey, got it. I appreciate you letting me know. Got it. I appreciate you letting me know." Right? And that's better than the "oh, okay. I got it. I appreciate you letting me know." And as you go along, you'll see that the professional responses get a little bit better, right? You just need to practice. You need to get this, uh, down packed. You need to kind of practice with somebody or use somebody for that and see how that goes with you, right? And I'm going to break this down to here, and I got it. And this will kind of way better than the okay, right? So we'll see. This is one, right? And then we'll go to number two. Can I ask why? Remember the filler word. Get away from that. Signals uncertainty, and the question itself is fine. It itself is fine and at that, like you're seeking feedback and ask why, but combined with hesitation at that end of the day, rookie. Instead, say, can I share what can you share? And this is a good one. Can you share what ultimately made the difference? And look at that right there. Much better, right? Your approach is way better because you're asking with confidence. You're asking with curiosity, right? Confidence and curiosity, right? Whereas this one here, you're staying professional and neutral, right? So let me see if I can grab the whole thing. Remove this. It's a little bit bigger now. Okay. Right. So can I share what ultimately made the difference for you? Right. Versus again, can I ask why? And if we go into the third section, right, we actually have a lot of great features and our price is really competitive. Sounds good to the rookie, but in reality, the prospects don't see it that way. Like I as a professional don't see it that way. I kind of say, hey, I'm focusing on actually listening, gathering intelligence, and not really persuading there, right? Because I'm really persuading in that aspect, right? And I'll explain to you as why, right? So we're gonna look at this as that makes sense. Period. Pause, right? Remember we talked about pauses. We talked about frequency. Can you tell me which factors were most important in your decision? Right? You're not looking for tonality, but you're looking on how to say that properly without having to sound weak, right? And again, this one here is the better approach, right? You're immediately defending and valuing the price because you're looking at great features and our price right there is really competitive. You're defending it, right? You're showing reactive behavior. You're trying to convince the prospect instead of understanding their choice. And prospects can feel pressured, right? Or that rookie is just trying to win the argument. No, you don't really want to do that. You don't really want to win the argument. At the end of the day, what you want to do is, that makes sense. Can you tell me which factors were most important in your decision? Language is important, right? And that right there focuses on listening. Focuses on listening. Focus is in listening and gathering quantitative results or just intelligence, right? And you're not really persuading. I hope this makes sense because you look at it, you're looking at it at a two-way street here. So at the end of the day, you're saying, oh, okay, or thanks for the update. Right there, you're begging. You don't have to chase, you don't have to beg, you don't have to ghost the prospect. Right? We decided to go with another company. Got it. I appreciate you letting me know. All right, we've decided to go with another company. Can you share what ultimately made the difference for you? Remember, professionals ask questions, right? You're confident. Oh, we decided to go with another company. That makes sense. Can you tell me which factors were most important in your decision? Get an answer. Rookie responses fail because again, it's emotional, and this is important too. And these are the three uh, response fails. responsive fails in a rookie of sales response or sales rookie response, right? And we look at a few things. We look at emotion, defensive, defense, and focused on selling. That's their goal. Is they want to make money right away. Is on selling and not learning the customer. I hope this makes sense because you have to kind of gather these quantitative and qualitative results, right? And how not why not you know gather all this stuff, right? By asking questions. So as a sales professional, again, as a sales professional, you want to stay calm. It makes sense. Got it. I appreciate you letting me know, professional. You're staying calm, right? You're focusing and listening and gathering intelligence and not really responsive. And I hope you understand where I'm coming with this, right? Because if you break down the rookie responses, you'll see it, right? You really want to leave the door open for future opportunities. You want to ask confident, curiosity-driven questions, right? So I got it. I appreciate you letting me know. Thanks. We decided to go for another company. Can you share what ultimately made the difference for you? We decided to go for another company. Can it make sense? Can you tell me which factors were most important in your decision? Simple, right? Respect the decision. We 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 also want to be able. We also want to talk about you know or even we could say, God, I appreciate you being direct. Or before we wrap up, we appreciate. We can add to this. We could say, I appreciate, got it, or I appreciate you being direct or letting me know. Before we wrap up, can I ask what ultimately made the difference for you? Right? And you ask and share what ultimately made the difference for you, right? So combining the two into one question, right? Grab a pencil here. You can combine these two. There's no resistance. You're inviting insight. Right? Instead of having two questions here, you can actually have both. You're adding professional neutralism. You're confident, and you're basically curious, right? Question the question, and that right there is the initial objection, where the decision, and I call this the decision state, right? The decision state, decision, decision, and that's the initial objection. Decision stated. Okay, you're making the decision. You know what? Let me type this out. Decision stated in this scenario. Scenario one. And that's the actual scenario itself. And we're talking about we decided to go with another company. There are other scenarios as well too, like we're cheaper, and that's where the prospect mentions the, I call it the competitor advantage. We're not going to talk about that. And there's also timing and momentum loss, but just message me in the WhatsApp chat, and I'll give you some of that information in a PDF if you're interested, right? There are different timings. There's even just the actual prospect sounding defensive. We're happy with our decision, right? And there's many different prospect ways of the prospect saying. I'm just gonna go through the one for now. Especially we've decided to go with another company, right? And instead ask the curiosity question, like, you're sounding low and being pressured or pressure, and you're high in insight, right? So we can also acknowledge with curiosity and appreciation. There's different ways of saying that, like, hey, I totally understand. Out of curiosity, what made you feel company ABG was the best fit, or respect their choice, but your framing. Of course, I wish you all the best with them. Just keep in mind, if they don't deliver the ROI we discussed, you went back with them. That's a professional response right there, right? You can re-anchor the pain points. This is another way we can do, right? So there's tons of ways we can kind of do it. And from that, from our talks, I know based on points, pain points one, two, three, uh, or based on one, which was critical. If that's ever still unresolved, I'd be happy to revisit this, right? So there's ways of actually saying that. Leave the door open with uncertainty, right? Write that down. And what I mean is, I'll check in down the road. Business needs change, and I hate for you to miss on what we could create together, right? Leave a lasting impression. Right? You want to win them back, right? The goal isn't to win them back. My apologies in that moment. It's to kind of position yourself as the rep they think of first when the competitor drops the ball, which is what they usually want to do. So best relationships often start with not now. Simple. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Again, drop the word scenario, and I'll send you over a scenario. I'll send you a couple scenarios with some examples. And again, sorry about my spelling here. Use my mouse versus my finger. There you go. Erase this scenario. Scenario. Drop that in the chat, and I'll send you over a PDF. Cheers, guys.